a summary of first canto of Bhagavatam, which is called Unveiling the Lotus Feet, which is a production of Burijan, Pujapad Burijan Prabhu, who has made a very nice analysis and summary of the Srimad Bhagavatam, first 4 cantos. This particular section of the Bhagavatam, Narada Muni is speaking, and he's saying that no one can avoid the control of Lord Krishna. One may willingly follow Krishna's commands or unwillingly submit, forced to accept reactions due to non-compliance. In either case, willingly or unwillingly, one must necessarily submit to Krishna, for the Lord is the supreme controller. One should simply act dutifully, for other actions and attempts will entangle one in the illusion of this world. Then there's a verse, chapter 13, verse 43. As a player sets up and disperses his playthings according to his own sweet will, the supreme will of the Lord brings men together and separates them. Prabhupada explains in the purport. We must know for certain that the particular position in which we are now set up is an arrangement of the supreme will in terms of our own acts in the past. So there's 2 things going on. We act, every moment we're acting, and last life we did so much action. And every action creates a reaction. When you act, then that creates a bijam. It's like if you have a fruit. If you eat a fruit and then you put it in the ground, there's so many seeds in that fruit, and when you put it in the ground, more fruits will come. So whenever we act, that action creates a bijam, karma bij. And that bijam is stored in the chitta. And then that bija will grow and produce a fruit in the next life or life after it. So whatever we did in our last lives, we did so many activities, and now we're getting the results or the fruits in this life. And the arrangement, how we get those fruits, how we experience those fruits, is all being arranged by God, by the Paramatma and the demigods. Radhe Radhe. So this is, here we are. The soul is in a particular body, surrounded by a particular group of people, friends, relatives, lovers, husbands, wives, children, etc. And we have to see that this is our desire and the will of the Lord that brought all these things together. Prabhupada adds that the Lord is the supreme will. Even everywhere, this idea of will, Ichcha Shakti. Ichcha Shakti means desire, will, thinking, feeling, willing. These are the symptoms of a conscious entity. A conscious entity has these attributes of thinking, feeling, and willing. That this floor doesn't have the power to think, or to feel, or to will. But living entity has thinking, feeling, and willing. And the more evolved that living entity is, in terms of life form, the higher the life form, and the greater the knowledge, the more power, willpower he has. The more power of thinking, the more power of feeling and willing. Like human beings, we're in human form. It's a very evolved life form. Sometimes human life is described as the crown of creation. All the different animals and all the different members, fish and birds and trees, etc., that make up the creation. As you have a human body, then on top of your body you have a crown, mukut. So the crown of all the creation is the human form. But in human form there are various expressions of humanity. Some are civilized, some are uncivilized. Some are devas, kimpurushas, kinnaras, all types of celestial beings, and even subterranean human forms living in lower planets. But this power of thinking, feeling, and willing, the greater knowledge one has, the more free will he has. This is not what free will is. Like we say, human beings, we have some free will. Actually, we don't have any free will until we're free. Because we're bound. It's called baddha, nitya baddha. We're conditioned souls. We're bound. So as long as we're under the modes of nature, we're not free. So it's not. I'm not making a decision. The modes are making a decision. We don't make a decision to sleep. The mode of ignorance comes and swallows us like a serpent and says, "Now sleep." Even though you might say, "Oh, I have work to do. I want to stay awake," and then the mode of ignorance says, "No, sleep," and swallows you, and you fall asleep despite your greatest efforts. So the modes, actually, people are simply being pushed by the modes, being pushed by passion or ignorance or sometimes goodness. And they're thinking, "Oh, I made this choice. I made this choice. This was my free will to act like this." But it's not. Actually, anyone who's controlled by the modes of nature has practically no free will. It's actually the will, it's the pushing of the modes of nature. Until one becomes liberated, or one is liberated, then he can actually, one's free from the modes of nature, which means the controlling agents. The modes of nature are controlling everything. So when we become free from the modes of nature, then we can actually say we have free will. Because then we can choose. That's why they say he's self-realized. I mean, he's realized his self different from the body. He eats when he wants to eat. He's not pushed to eat. "Oh, I feel so hungry. I have to eat something. So there's pushing of hunger. "No, I'm not eating. I'm fasting," or whatever. Then he has free will. One actually greater knowledge one has. And he says, "Wait a minute. This is not me. This is this body. The body is pushing me. The body is dictating. This is not me. This mode of passion is pushing me to act like this. Or this mode of ignorance is pushing me to sleep. This mode of passion is pushing me for sex life or sex enjoyment." But this is not the Atma. The Atma is free from all these material inebrities, material desires. So just the modes of nature pushing us to be passionate or pushing us, "Oh, now I'm peaceful," or some subject things. So as when one gets transcendental knowledge, the more knowledge one has, the more free will one actually has, because then he leaves the influence of the modes of nature. Then he, as an independent soul, is doing what he wants to do, not doing what the modes of nature want you to do. In the Bible, they have this phrase, they recognize it in a general way. They say, "The soul is willing, but the flesh is weak." They have the same phrase. The soul is willing, with Icha Shakti. The soul is willing, but the flesh means the material body. Flesh, bone, skin, hair, tooth, nail. Will. We have to set our will. That's what sankalpa is all about. Sankalpa. Sankalpa means you fix your will. What do you will? What is your will? We have this concept. When someone's about to die, they make out their what? What's it called?
Yeah. Will. That is okay.
It's called will.
Yeah.
I don't know about India. It's called the will. Vasiyat. Vasiyat means control, passing control to someone. Vasiyat.
What's the Urdu translation?
It's the transfer of rights kind of thing. Something like passing of control.
Because there's Vasibhut. There's more. Vasibhut means the control of the living entities. It's the name for Krishna. Vasibhut. So it sounded like controller. So last will and testament. Last will and testament. So people usually, they only at the end they make some will. Well, I'm leaving now, and there's a few things that I really wanted to do or should have been done, so my son, please do these things. But a devotee, he should make his will every day. I will to do this. I want to do this. I want to dedicate myself to Krishna. I really, and this, at least this one life, as Prabhupada often spoke, he said, so many lifetimes we have done it so-called our way. We have the will to do it. I want to do it. I will to do it. And I will do it. The mother says, don't do this. And the child says, I will do this. Especially because you said, don't do it. That gives me more enthusiasm. If you didn't say anything, I may have done it or not. But since you were prohibiting me from doing this activity, then I must do it, I will do it. So we are like children of God also. God is our Father. Aham bija pradapita. He's a seed-giving Father. And so we should also we should have a will to serve him and make a commitment, take a sankalp that in this one life, as Prabhupada said, so many lifetimes we've done it our way, and we've done it whatever we wanted, or at least tried to do whatever we wanted, and play it our way. And Prabhupada said, well, just dedicate this one life to Krishna. Only one life, and what's left of it anyway? If you live to be 70 and you're already 30 or more, you're almost halfway done. You're maybe third way done. So 33 to 50% of our lives, we've already done our will. We've executed our will. I want this, and I want that, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I believe in this, and I believe in that. And Prabhupada would say, in the remaining years of our lives, whatever years they are, let us fully dedicate ourselves to the service of Krishna. Become his dedicated servants. Let that be our will. Other things are in motion. Like you turn on the fan, if you're lucky, the fan may be spinning. And so that's going on. Okay, the fan's going on. But is that all that you do? You come in and look at the fan? Oh no, the fan's going on, but I'm going to do some other things. I'm going to watch TV, or I'm going to eat, I'm going to sleep, I'm going to sew clothes, I'm going to read the Bhagavatam, I'm going to chant japa. But that fan is going on. And that's just, it's going on its own power. But we are expressing our will in a different way. We're not taking a fan and fanning ourselves, because that's going on. The same way, whatever activities we have set in motion, which have been set in motion by our prabdha karma has set us on a particular track. Okay, you're married and you have these children, you have this job, you have these relationships. Okay, that's your fan, that's the background, that's the fan over your head. That's spinning around. But now what are you going to consciously do? How are you going to direct your will, your sankalp? What do you want to actually do with your life? That's already being done. That's being done to you. Prabdha is being done to you, which you set up in your last life. Now what course do you want to set for your new life? Because two things are going on, just like in the room. The fan is going on in the room, and you're also in the room. So two activities are going on. The fan is spinning around, but you're doing something different. And although you're being influenced by that fan, the wind of that fan is blowing on your head. And you're part of that fan. That fan is part of your life as long as you're in that room. And so in the example, your life is circumscribed by the borders of that room. So the borders of that room is your prabdha karma. And so then your free will is, what will you do with that fan over your head? So the is going on, but now, okay, that's going on, let it go on. I'm not going to put any energy into that. I'm not going to go up there and try to push that fan and make it go faster. Let it go on. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to actually engage every minute that I can find in the service of Krishna. I want to hear and chant and remember Krishna. And eventually the power will stop and that fan will finish. And then whatever I've established will be with me. Like say you're sewing a sweater. You're making a sweater in the room. You're sitting, the fan's going on, and you're sewing for a couple of days. And all of a sudden the power goes out, there's a power shortage, and the fan stops. And then you say, oh, there's no more fan. But look what I did in 3 days. I made a sweater. I produced this nice sweater, nice thing. So now the same thing. If we're working to develop our bhakti, to cultivate our devotion and love for Krishna, and our prabdha is going on, and one day, one lifetime, all that will finish. And what we'll have in our hand, what we'll actually have is all our activities in devotion. That'll be our production. That'll be our production. That will be our wealth. That'll be our art, our attainment. Art means our objective, our attainment, our wealth, our possession. So this is why we should, as much as possible, endeavor on the path of bhakti and express our will for that. We don't have to put any willpower into family life or job. That's already going on. It'll go on. Whatever is destined. If you're destined to get a husband, which everyone is, you'll get it. It'll come. So don't even think about it. You make some endeavor. Obviously, Krishna doesn't say sit in a corner and don't do anything. We must work. We have to endeavor simply to maintain the body. This body is a working organism. It must move. Even to exist, you must work. Even if you stand in a corner, you can't stand there forever. You have to walk around the room a little bit. Otherwise, you won't digest your food if you just stand in the corner. So energy must be expended. But our conscious willpower should be put into we should will to serve Krishna. We should use, my thinking, feeling, willing. We should think how to serve Krishna and develop our feelings for Krishna and express our will to serve Krishna. Yes, I want to serve Krishna. I want to be qualified. I want to qualify myself for His eternal service. And I want to realize my role in the spiritual world. I want to know, I want to come to grips with, or come to realize, what is my spiritual identity? What is my individual contribution to the center? Krishna has designated me to love Him in a particular way. He is waiting for my love to be expressed in a particular capacity, in a particular form and expression. And that secret He is locked within my heart. He knows the secret. It's a known secret to Him. And we can know the secret also. And that's the fruit of devotion. The fruit of devotion is to unlock the secret. To unlock the secret relationship that every jiva has with the Lord in the heart. That is the fulfillment. That is the perfection of the human endeavor. We seek out happiness through relationships. We either relate with objects and try to find happiness by relating with objects, or we relate with people and try to find happiness. This is the purpose of relationships. But we already have a relationship with Krishna, with God, and that's eternal. It's called Sthayi Bhav. Sthayi means fixed or situated or standing. Bhav means love. A permanent loving relationship with Krishna is established in a seed-like form in the heart. And when the mercy comes from the Lord, through His name, through His devotion, through His devotees, they're all internal energy. The devotees of the Lord are internal energy. The holy name is internal energy. The Lord Himself is internal energy. The Sarup Shakti mixes with the Tatastha Shakti. We are Tatastha Shakti. And when the Sarup Shakti mixes with the Tatastha Shakti, then we will get our Sarup. We'll understand. Not get, but we'll understand what is our Sarup. Swarup, my form. Sarup Siddhi, my perfect spiritual form.